Throughout the campaign, I've made it clear that my preference is for us to leave with a better deal. One that addresses the problems with the existing deal and specifically the backstop, ensures we have a fully independent trade policy, and allows us to design our own immigration system. I know that with my experience of business and government, I'm the best placed candidate to get that better deal. But I also know that renegotiation will not be easy, but it won't be impossible either. And with the parliamentary arithmetic that we face, securing a deal that can pass through Parliament remains the quickest and safest way to deliver Brexit. But what if the European Union refuses to budge? We need a comprehensive no deal plan, because Brexit is about more than slogans, more than belief, more than positive thinking. You can't leave the European Union on a wing and a prayer. You need a plan. And today I'm setting out my 10-point plan. Firstly, on day one of my premiership, I will order an immediate ramping up of no deal preparations. In order to avoid a take it or leave it approach, which would be fatal to negotiations, I and the Brexit Secretary will engage with European leaders and the European Commission during July and August to do our very best to come to an agreed way forward. I'll also establish, fifthly, a national logistics committee led by the Department of Transport to produce a plan to keep goods flowing in and out of the UK in the event of no deal. This will include an assessment of any emergency powers required to ensure ports and airports will work in a coordinated way nationally. The Treasury will start preparations on a no deal Brexit budget to be delivered the first week Parliament is back in September. This will include my existing policies of cutting corporation tax to 12.5%, increasing the annual investment allowance to £5 million, and taking 90% of high street businesses out of rates, which I will introduce in any circumstance. Number 7, HMT will also produce a no-deal relief programme. This will include a £6 billion fund for the fishing and farming sectors who export to Europe to ease transition out of the European Union whilst honouring our international obligations. It will also consider what relief other industries will require. I'll make a judgment on the 30th of September as to whether there is a realistic chance of a new deal being agreed that can pass through the House of Commons. If my judgment and the judgment of my Cabinet is that there is a deal to be done, I will seek to conclude the negotiations and pass a new meaningful vote and any necessary legislation in the House of Commons before the end of October. If my judgment is that there is no deal to be done, I will immediately cease all discussions with the European Union and focus the whole country's mission on no deal preparations. One thing I will not negotiate on is citizens' rights. So to put the millions of EU citizens who have made the UK their home, to put them all at ease, I can reconfirm to them that their rights in the UK will be protected whatever the outcome. If the Commission engages in good faith and negotiations are going well, then I don't believe we should ignore progress made and throw away that deal for the sake of an arbitrary deadline. With a deal done, billions more will be available to invest in the economic and social missions that I've set out, and we should welcome that. But I want to be crystal clear with members of the Conservative Party, with my parliamentary colleagues, and with the European Union. If there is no engagement on this deal, if it's apparent that the Commission is simply not interested in negotiating, if there's no willingness to tackle the shortcomings of the backstop, and if there is no immediate prospect of a deal that can get through Parliament, then there will be no kicking the can down the road, and we will intensify and finalise our preparations to leave without a deal. So from the start of my premiership, I will work on the basis that we are leaving on the 31st of October with or without a deal, unless the Commission changes its position. No deal is not my preferred destination, but if a withdrawal deal is simply not on the cards, then the only way to fulfil the democratic mandate of the referendum is to leave without a deal, which is what we'll do.